Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I procrastinated a little bit in getting Jeff's speech info printed off, but it was an inadvertent procrastination because I spent most of the morning locked out of my email and on the phone with BTS, and I'm crossing my fingers that the solution that finally showed up at 11:25 a.m. is still there when I go back to my office. This morning, we will be hearing from Jeff Chilson, a competent communicator to speech, and under normal circumstances, this would mean only the second speech that someone had ever presented to our group under the Toastmasters program. Alas, that is not what Jeff's doing. He's just working his way through the book for the third, fourth, fifth time now. Through the second time. Anyway, Jeff is going to be giving us a report on the Toastmasters District 62 Speakers Bureau, which I believe is something that you've spoken about in our meetings here before. But today he's giving us a dry run for the last part of his high performance leadership project. He will be giving a speech very much similar to this one next week at the Jackson Chamber Toastmasters Club. So this is a dress rehearsal. He will be sharing information about the high performance leadership project in general, the status of his project, setting up a speakers bureau for District 62 here, and also offering some lessons on leadership that he's learned as he's worked on this project. This is a 5 to 7 minute speech, so green at 5, yellow at 6, and red at 7 minutes. And please join me in welcoming Jeff Chilson.
One moment here. Jesse, you can help me. Computer? We'll be working that behind me. I appreciate that. Well, thanks for that introduction, Doug. And I would like to share, just briefly, shortly, talk about what the High Performance Leadership Project is. This is one of the requirements that Toastmasters puts in their education program to teach people about leadership by giving them a very intensive leadership project. And it's one of the requirements to achieving your Advanced Leaders Silver in the Toastmasters program. There's essentially two phases, actually 5 parts to the project, but 2 essential phases to this project. The first is you examine yourself, giving yourself a leadership inventory and learning about what leadership is and the various aspects of it. And then from that point, you move on into actually trying to apply what you've learned. All of what you've learned in Toastmasters thus far, plus what you've learned in this inventory about leadership itself. So the project that I have selected is to work on a speakers bureau. If you're not familiar with what a speakers bureau is, it's simply a group of speakers that are available for hire. I use that in quotes just because it's a lot of folks will be doing this for free, or at least just on an honorary kind of basis, covering good costs. But the public, whether you're a library, a community organization, whatever walk of life you happen to be coming from, even if you're a business, you can come to our speakers bureau, find a speaker that can come to your event and present at your special event. Whether there's a training session or there's a special occasion of some kind. That's what a speakers bureau is. I'm going to wrap up here with some leadership lessons that I've learned. Let me give you a report so far on the project. As mentioned, the mission was to launch the Speakers Bureau. We do not have a Speakers Bureau here in our district. There are a bunch of them in other districts throughout the world in Toastmasters. So this is just a complete, from the ground up launch. So I had several objectives. First of all, I got to recruit some speakers. We got to go across all of the mitten of Michigan, essentially, trying to find speakers that are available to join our bureau. I needed to develop a platform to promote our Speakers Bureau. I also needed to create a team at some point. Right now it's just me, but there are a couple other folks I need to get involved with the Speakers Bureau itself to promote and make the thing work. And finally, and for those of you who are starting out in your career especially, you want to make sure you document how to make things work, because you're not going to be doing whatever it is you're doing a year from now or 5 years from now. You want to be able to make sure that you can delegate the entire project to somebody else. So part of my project was to be able to develop some materials so that I can pass them on to the next person who's going to run the bureau. So from that standpoint, what I have done thus far is I do have this very small, brief packet of information this first page is what Toastmasters puts together about, this essentially, this is your charter about how you actually run a speakers bureau. This is all the information I have is on this small brochure. I do have a promotional brochure for the speakers bureau that I've put together. It's very simple, to the point, just trying to get it out there so it's available. And I mentioned documentation. I did spend time writing the speakers bureau handbook for our bureau. I'm going to pass these materials around so you can read them if you wish. And the bigger piece of this has been the platform, because you've got to be able to find the speakers bureau. And this is one part of the vision that's been molded back and forth a little bit as we've talked about what we're going to try and accomplish and what we can accomplish in a set amount of time, trying to get this launched and in action available to the public. I've been working with our district webmaster. His name is Locke Lyon, and he has had a slightly different vision of what it was that I had when it came to developing this platform and developing the web basis for it. So I've let him run a little further because his vision of what to do is, he's a computer programmer, kind of an artist. He said, I really want to make it look like this. So I said, okay, Locke, if you want to spend the time doing that, full reign to do what you can. So if you go out to our webpage for the district, which is 62toast.com, you'll see on the menu now we have a Speakers Bureau section added to our menu. And there are 3 bullet points there. If you're interested in what the Speakers Bureau is, we have a brief outline of the Speakers Bureau, what we offer, how to arrange for a speaker, how to use the directory, how to get in touch with us. You'll notice in a lot of spaces you'll see, this is one of their key parts, I have a very memorable email address, something you probably can't forget. speakersbureau@62toast.com. If you want to get in touch with us, that is how you do it. speakersbureau62@62toast.com. That is an email blast list, goes to myself, right now goes to Tom Miller, who will be one of the people who is going to be involved in the team for the Speakers Bureau as far as promoting it. Speakers Bureau also has a directory. You want to know who all speakers are? We have presently 7 speakers. Paul Arnold, Doug Brinker, John Jenke. I noticed lovely Cheryl Ketchens with a striking photo. Arlene Knickerbocker, Rod Malloy, and Noah Nagy are presently in our team for the Speakers Bureau, which I'll get back to these folks in a few minutes. I get to my lessons learned. And finally, if you are interested in joining the Speakers Bureau, speakers are wanted. So we have a page dedicated to briefly telling speakers how to get in touch with us if they would like to join. So that is our web platform. As I mentioned, we're going to have a team. The team right now consists of myself and Tom Miller. Tom and I will probably recruit one other person, very likely this can come out of Energizers, because they've been kicking around having speakers for a while. Nothing has really come in motion because of the conversation. And I had some contacts with some other folks that kind of got this project going. I already mentioned the documentation. At the beginning of the presentation, I mentioned that the Leadership Project has a leadership inventory associated with it. They talk about 6 different facets of leadership. These are vision and values, direction, persuasion, support, development, and appreciation. Those are 6 different pieces of leadership they cite as being crucial elements in being successful as a leader. I'd like to talk about 2 of those. First of all, being vision and values. Vision and values is important to this project because if I didn't define it, and didn't define it in a very tight scope, it would never have gotten done. At this point, I'm never exactly quite done. I'm getting close. And I had to be flexible on that. Some people came to this and said, well, it's got to be a little bit, have these aspects. And in particular, I mentioned Locke Lyon said, when it comes to this, to the website, I'd like it to look a certain way. And so I had to be flexible on working with folks and having the vision be able to be met, but being a little bit flexible in what it was we were able to accomplish, and so have essentially a deadline to cut off and declare success. And finally, one of the other parts that I learned on this process is the idea of support. And I knew this was going through the role as area governor a couple of years back. that the relationships you form with other people as you go along are crucial to being successful. That certainly played itself up here. As I mentioned, of all the people that are part of the Speakers Bureau, there are 7 of them. You might not know this, but I know this because 5 of them all come from here in Jackson County. 2 are part of the Energizers Club, 2 are part of the Jackson Chamber Club, 1 is, of course, the Sean Passion City Rising Stars. 5 out of the 7 come from local clubs that I've been able to interface with and talk with quite a bit over the years. So I've had the opportunity to form those relationships. I know Paul Arnold a little bit from meeting him in some of the training institutes that we have for Toastmasters. But I've also had to be able to leverage some relationships I've had with Greg Geikema, Carol Krahinsky, in particular some of the district leaders, Amy Moore a little bit, I know I've been able to know her. So the people that you meet along the way, get to know them. You may have to use their resources and their expertise to be able to accomplish whatever it is you want to do. That is the report on the District 62 Speakers Bureau. I appreciate very much your time and support of this club and the folks here at Toastmasters. We do this. We hope to launch it very soon, probably the first week of September. Thank you very much.